Chapter 7, Systems Theories. What's a systems theory?
Good question. I think the important thing to get out of the first part of the chapter is that translation doesn't exist as in isolation. Translation is part of its own system, but part of other systems. It's looking mainly at literary translation, but the point is that different forms of literature interact in different historical and social conditions. In some points they may become more important, and other points they may become less important.
Right.
Take the case of children's literature.
Okay.
In some cultures, the children's literature is still relatively marginalised and undervalued. It's not taken very seriously. In other cultures, particularly in some English-speaking cultures over the last decades, or in Victorian times even, there's a whole tradition developed of children's literature, which may be didactic in purpose, teaching lessons.
Yeah.
It may be more for entertainment. So you've got all of the Harry Potter books recently, for example, which have made children's literature very prominent, and then in translation influenced other literary cultures. So the interesting thing for translation theorists is to see what place translation occupies in different cultures at different historical points. Yeah, descriptive translation studies were developed from the 1970s onwards, particularly by Gideon Toury. And his work is crucial, fundamental to any source text, target text analysis, really. Because without having a strong theoretical framework, an analysis of a translation and its source text just becomes an analysis of a translation and its source text, and it doesn't tell you, it loses its power to generalize. Okay. So Toury puts forward a framework in which any descriptive study can be located, and it will allow some description of the target culture system, some analysis of source text and target text, and some generalization as to the trends of the translation that occur within the translation. What kind of procedures are being used? What kind of strategies are being used? Is the translator more source text oriented or target language oriented?
Right.
And how these change over from different historical points and different cultural locations. And that means that any readers doing a descriptive analysis should locate their work within Toury's framework, which will allow a comparison with other studies, will allow the studies to be replicated as well. So Toury's work was crucial in putting translation studies, descriptive translation studies, on a more scientific basis. So any reader doing a descriptive study of a source text and a target text must locate their work within Toury's framework, because this allows their comparisons with other studies and their own study to be replicated if necessary.